Good morning, everybody. In case you don't know me, my name is Rabbi Moshe Schmerler. I'm the administrative director of the Ibn Rabbanim. I'm also the president of the Alumni Association for Coalition Avraham. This morning here, we're in a very bitter, but pleasant occasion. First of all, it's so nice to see so many of you without a mask. Baruch Hashem, COVID is starting to leave us, and it's glad to see everybody's face. But yet again, we're gathered here today in honor of our Presidium member, Rabbi Spivak, my Rebbe, Rabbi Spivak, and a person who had a tremendous impact on all of Klal Yisrael. Before we start the program, it is our minhag that we start at Kapitel Tehillim. I'm going to ask the chief rabbi of Canarsie, Rabbi Spivak, to please come up and say Kuf Lamed, Kapitel Kuf Lamed, and to also speak for 2 minutes on the welcome. I would like to welcome everyone to the show. We recently got a Mesivta here, Baruch Mesivta, and with their help we renovated the shul, the new floors, and the windows, and the walls. So Baruch Hashem, it's going forward. And many years ago there was an Eruv, it was destroyed years ago. We just put up a new Eruv around Canarsie, and an Eruv as well. Rabbeinu Ephraim writes on this parsha that in the word Eihel Moed, Eihel is Lamed Vav. It's Murum is the Lamed Vav Meseftas of the Shas. And the Yirmiyahu it says Haloi Kei Dvari K'Eish. The Rizal Chassid said the Haloi is also Lamed Vav. Is Murum is to the Lamed Vav Meseftas of Shas. Rakev writes that Eila HaDvarim, that Eila in Sefer Dvarim, Eila is Lamed Vav Meseftas, and Marie Weil writes that Lulav is Lamed Beis is the Torah, which is starts with Beis and finishes Lamed, and Lamed Vav is Meseftas of the Shas. And Rabbi Spivak his Rosh Hashanah is Yaakov David Yud Samach Yaakov David Spivak, and Yad Sigledas by the entire. He was he caught the ganzen Torah, which is H, and we find that to have it by Yitzchak, it says to elevate him with what did he elevate him with H of serving Hashem. That's why it doesn't say Sak and it says Makelas, because the fire, the brand of serving Hashem ate him all up. And this is the Torah mitzvah. This is Rabbi Spivak is that he was totally consumed with Torah, and this will be for him an aliyah from the Darga as he continues on the aliyahs forever. Bereshos, the Rav and Rosh Kollel, Rabbi Class. Very difficult to say that. The head of Coalition Avram, who is formerly, our Shalom Meshav of Coalition Avram. Bereshos, the Presidium members, Rabbi Hech. Bereshos, the Executive Vice President, Rabbi Marashnik. The head of Rabbi Halacha, Rabbi Student, Rabbi Katz, and all of the Talmidim here of Rabbi Spivak. I just wanted to share with you a few words about Rebbe, and I'll give you a little information about the program. Today we're going to be addressed by Rabbi Menachem Schwartz, formerly the Rav of Young Israel of Spring Valley, a close friend and chaver of Rabbi Spivak. We're going to be spoken to by Rabbi Klass. Rabbi Klass has now taken the mantle to head up the Kollel, as the Rav and the Rosh Kollel, and we'll be working together with Rabbi Katz, who will also be a Rosh Kollel at the Yeshiva. We're also going to hear from Rabbi Katz a little bit later. I'd like to acknowledge Rabbi Chazan, who was one of the original Talmidim of Rabbi Spivak. And it's always a pleasure to hear from Rabbi Chazan and the amazing work that he's done throughout Klal Yisrael. And of course, all the other Talmidim. It's very difficult to be standing up here and to be sharing words about a person, in my mind, was greater than life and was taller, and I can't believe that I'm standing here talking about him past tense. Rabbi Spivak used to tell me on a very regular basis that one of the goals of a rabbi is to actually, instead of having a smicha and hanging it up on your wall, the goal of your smicha is to actually take that smicha and you actually use it. If everybody who's ever gotten smicha from Rabbi Spivak, what did he used to tell you when he gave you the smicha? I'll translate in English for everybody. He would say, take this and use it for good. In the end of the day, one of the things that I've mentioned is Rabbi Spivak always used to tell the story. And Baruch Hashem, I was there at five of our Chag HaSmichos, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and emceed many of them. He used to tell us that in every generation, what would happen? They would have a different chatzosros, a different trumpets. Why? Because for every generation, you need a different Rav. You need somebody who's going to resonate with that generation. Rabbi Spivak, as we know, was way ahead of his time. He was broadcasting before it was popular. He was fighting against Schmerler in this country before it was popular. He was an old-time Rav who basically used to say and take nothing from nobody. He used to tell you what was right for the Torah and never back down. Unfortunately, we don't see that very often today. That's exactly why Kol Eshal Avram and the Igud are really married hip by hip. The Igud does not always take popular positions. We've taken a few positions this week that have been very unpopular. Rabbi Hecht this week wrote about the moment of silence. I can't say, Rabbi Hecht, this is about the 20th time that we've written about it. We're not going to stop until we get it. This was the legacy of Rabbi Spivak. Rabbi Spivak made sure that all of his Talmidim went out to Klal Yisrael and made a difference. It gives us a great pleasure today to know that the Kollel will be continuing. I was speaking with Marvin Schwartz this morning, and we were talking about the future of the Kollel and how much great work Rabbi Spivak has done over the years. I think if we count, is it more than 250 mismachim that he has given smicha to, and those mismachim who have gone out to Klal Yisrael. If you think about the ability of one person, when we were reading Parshas Achrei Mos, we were talking about the Kohen Gadol. And the Kohen Gadol, when he goes for his avodah, what is the one thing that he does? We say, "V'chiper ba'ado u'biyad beiso u'ba'ad kol kahal Yisrael." Gives us the recipe of success for any person if they want to make a difference in the world. First, perfect yourself. Once you are able to work upon yourself, then you're able to make an impact on other people, on your family, your Igud family, your Kol Eshal Avram family, your Talmidim. And then you're able to make an impact on the entire Klal Yisrael. And that's what Rabbi Spivak did. He created, very recently, the last 5 years, and Rabbi Eisner, it's a pleasure to have you here, the Rabbi Saul Eisner Zecher Tzadik Levracha Yad and Yadin program, to create new leaders for the future. Rabbi Eisner, personally speaking for myself, Rabbi Eisner was a very big force in my life. From the time I was a little boy, he encouraged me. He always brought me to learn. He sat and did Choshen Mishpah with me when I was 13 years old. He said, you had the ability to do anything you want to do if you put your mind to it. And that's really what Eshel Avram has always been. There's no excuses for a person to continue to stop learning. You don't stop learning, you continue. You want to do it part-time, do it part-time. First, we're a Jew, and secondly, we're a professional. It's not you're a professional who happens to be a Yid. When you go out in the workplace, you're going to make that impact. And therefore, it gives us a bittersweet moment right now. If you remember Rabbi Spivak, who taught us that lesson. Not only did he go out and be a Yid first, but he also went out to the workplaces. Pictures that we have of him, against Al Sharpton, pictures of him speaking out on campuses. Whenever there was a hard issue to face, there was one person we could count on. Literally, I stand on the shoulders of giants, literally and figuratively. Rabbi Spivak was there standing, and he was saying, this is not going to happen, this is not right. And there's nobody better than Rabbi Klass to take over his mantle. Rabbi Klass has been a tremendous, tremendous person to be, he fights for Klal Yisrael. He writes to the biggest kehillah that I've ever met. he writes on the terms of the Jewish press. And Rabbi Cass, together with him, who is up and coming, he already is a force on his own, but B'Yirtzeh Hashem, will be continued to be a force. And therefore, we have a very, very long program today. We have many people who want to speak about the Rebbe Zecher Tzadik Livracha. But at the end of the day, we want to be brief. We're going to ask everybody to speak briefly. I know I've gone too long, but if I stood here for 5 to 10 hours, I couldn't say enough about Rabbi Spivak. So at this point, I'd like to call the Executive Vice President of Ligat HaRabbanim, Rav Mendy Mirashne, to say a few words, and also a comment of Rabbi Spivak. And we appreciate all of you coming this morning and sharing in the legacy of this wonderful great Sabbath.